Do you want to know why relationships fail? Do you want to know why your relationship failed and why 99% of relationships out there fail? Do you want to know why that is? Well, it might surprise you. It might even shock you. But it doesn't have anything to do with sex. It doesn't have anything to do with money. And it doesn't even have anything to do with infidelity. Now, that might sound surprising to you and you might not even agree. And that's totally fine. However, you can look around and see people who have had money problems, sex problems, although they might not talk about it, and even infidelity problems, and they're still together. And in some cases, their relationship is even better than it was before. How is that possible? Why is it that some couples go out and if they have money problems or sex problems, or if there's infidelity, or if, like they like different music, why do they break up? Whereas some not only stay together, but become stronger. I had a friend who really suffered a serious pornography addiction, and he was in a committed relationship with this girl, and he just couldn't stop looking at porn, and it really bothered her. It made her feel insecure. It made her feel like there was some kind of infidelity, like he was fantasizing about these girls. Well, anyway, in some cases that could have been a deal breaker, and that could have really ruined their relationship because she felt like he was cheating on her, in a way. But instead, they used that as an opportunity to make their relationship stronger. Now, it doesn't matter what you think about porn or if you can even relate to this girl being upset by it. What matters is that she was upset by it, and he was still doing it, and yet that didn't end their relationship. And here's why. Because the real thing that ends relationships has nothing to do with circumstances. Because look, circumstances change all the time, and we're always having varying circumstances in our life. Circumstances are kind of like the emotions of a person. They go up and down all the time. They're like the waves of the ocean. But the thing that doesn't change, the thing that keeps people together or makes them fall apart, is the communication about those things. You see, it's not money, it's the communication about money. It's not even sex, it's the communication about sex. It's not even infidelity, it's the communication about infidelity. Almost everyone can relate to being in a committed relationship and wondering what it would be like to be with someone else. That's perfectly natural, and there's nothing really wrong with that. Now, sometimes people really do it, and that's really messed up, and it's not going to work. But if you learn how to communicate about it, then you can really give your relationship a chance of working. Similarly, if you have a bad sex life, it's not the sex that doesn't work, it's the communication about it. You see, what happens is that this is like insecurity, right? There's something nobody wants to talk about, and so instead of talking about it and putting it on the table, people hide it. So they hide it and cover it up with resentment and bitterness, and that's just not going to work. So what do? How do you make sure that you don't fall into this trap? Well, quite simply, you discover how to and implement strategic and powerful ways of communication that really can enable you to overcome any obstacle. Now, I don't know what your situation is, right? I don't know whether you cheated on your boyfriend or whether you didn't have any money to take your girlfriend out or whether your own insecurity stood in the way of your relationship. Whatever it is, none of those things matter. You see, so many relationship gurus want you to focus on all of these outside things, get all of these things right, but that can be overwhelming. I mean, look at your life, and if you're not making any money and you feel down in the dumps and you don't feel like you have a great sex life or whatever it is, whatever those things are for you, it's daunting, isn't it? Trying to fix all of that at the same time, well, instead is a much easier way, and that's to have the ability to just communicate about it. Here's an example, and I think that probably everybody knows someone like this. When I was in the Navy, I met a guy named Brent, and he was the weirdest dude that I've ever met. He was very socially awkward, right? And in fact, when we first started talking, I would ask him a question, and he would stand up there and do something like this. For like literally 5 seconds. It was very uncomfortable. Because I'm talking to him, I'm asking him a question, and he's like, okay, and I really thought he had a mental problem. But as it turned out, he was just nervous. Socially nervous, but he never tried to cover it up. He just did the best he could with it. So these weirdnesses, these idiosyncrasies, were the things that eventually made me really like him and made us become great friends. What's the point of all this? The point is when you're able to be just you, when you're able to have the courage to talk about the things that other people are uncomfortable to talk about, you become the most courageous person in the room, and as a result, the most attractive. Look, we all know people who are courageous enough to talk about the things that other people would be embarrassed by. And doesn't it hold true that those people, the people that have the courage to talk about it, are always found to be more attractive, and we always feel more safe around them? So look, The idea of communication in relationships is an enormous subject, but it's all been distilled down for you. It's been broken down into little bite-sized chunks, really revolving around persuasion and conflict resolution and conflict avoidance. So that if you know how to go about it, you can head off a conflict before it even starts. And if you don't, then you can know how to resolve that conflict. And you can know how to persuade your ex, your lover, into doing the things that you want them to do without it being manipulative. So it's all been put together in the M3 system. And the reason it's called that is because there's 3 M's. M1 is mindset. It's teaching you to think about how to perceive the situation so that you have power again. M2, which is method, is the nuts and bolts. What to say, when to say it, what to do, when to do it. And then M3 is moving forward. What to do when the normal things of life come up, right? You get back together, but there's still going to be conflict. There's still going to be stuff to work through, and this helps you do that. What I want you to do is I want you to download it right now. It's very easy, just takes a few clicks of the mouse, and you'll be able to get access to the M3 system. Now that's the easy part. The real value comes from the enormous power that you'll get from this, and what you'll be able to do to your relationships and your love life from here on out. So click on the link below so that you can get started, and discover the secrets that most people will never know about relationships, and how to communicate in a way that you don't have to be afraid of the circumstances, because you have the courage to see through it. And I want you to know that I'm delighted to help the success of your relationships. Having gone through it myself, I know firsthand what it feels like to be in your situation. I want to lend you a hand so that you can get out of the hopeless situation you're in right now, so that you never have to look back there again. So click on the link below so that you can get started in the members area with the ability to put your relationship on the right track to make it be what you want it to be.